What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. I'm here for another video, and I did not realize that Latocha Scott, Wendy Williams, and Monique had so many similarities, and not in a good way. Like the video as my intro plays, because we're about to go deep, y'all.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Make it make sense, boo.
Big moves.
Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Sun in the sky.
Okay, guys. So this one, literally, the brainchild for this video came about after seeing Xscape and SWV's show. And there was a scene with Latocha Scott, producers, and her husband came into the scene. If you haven't seen the show, you don't have to. This is very much self-explanatory.
For you and Tamika to put this issue together.
Producers are asking her how she can fix her situation with her sister. This is her husband behind her, whispering. We don't know what he's saying.
What are you whispering over there to her?
Producers even say, "What are you doing?" Because this is a confessional.
Rocky.
He responded, "What she needs to say." That honestly bothered me. That is weird. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to say it. It's weird. So then, you know how I work, guys. I do deep dives. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of deep dives. Check this video out. I did it yesterday. Somebody's lying. I put all of their responses to each other in one video. Latocha, Tamika, and Candy. Then I did an interview with Peter Thomas's ex-girlfriend. She had a lot to say about a lot of things. I'll link both of those. But anyway, back to this. Monique said something on Watch What Happens Live. It bothered me. There's something strange about these relationships. All are married to their manager. They were not managers prior to getting with these three very huge celebrity women. It's all extremely weird. But okay, let me let you listen to what Monique had to say.
Dealing with your best friend, your lover, your daddy, your brother, every title that a man can have, my husband has for me.
Weird. I love Monique. I am so old school Monique fan. You don't even know. We'll get into that as we really just start breaking things down. But I love Monique. But her relationship has consistently come under fire. People think that it is strange. He's not your daddy. He's not your brother. You don't have to have that type of fatherly or brotherly love all combined into your husband. It's weird. I'm sorry. If you are a subscriber of mine and you have that kind of love, check me, put it in the comments. But for me personally, I think that is weird. Each one of these women has been married to their husband for years. Monique and Sydney got together in 2006. They're still married. Latocha and Rocky, 1995, they're still married. And Wendy was married to Kevin from 1994 until we all know about that breakup. They're not just all bald, weird-looking men. They have a lot of similarities. they are some funny-looking dudes. So let's get on to some of the things that I feel are probably going to be touching. Self-esteem issues. This is a recurring theme that keeps coming up. I want to first say that I do not think that because a woman is plus sized, she is automatically having or to deal with self-esteem issues. I don't feel that way at all. And I really root for the women and men who champion body positivity. But I'm going to let you know there are some things that are for these women in particular. There's some things that I'm going to let you listen. There's a thread. Monique was the wild card in the self-esteem. Let's see. So Tasha Scott, she's been very open about her self-esteem issues. I went through her Instagram, and what is strange is she's basically purged it of any of the old Tasha. Now, I think she looks great, but what I will say is who you were does not determine who you will be, but that doesn't mean that you can erase your past. Wendy Williams actually pointed out that she hides behind her bandmates physically. Latocha has been very open about being hurt by the industry. Latocha felt as though she was just the big girl who could sing. Her words, not mine. And even people said that to her. So I can understand self-esteem issues. I have been very open about my self-esteem issues, how I did not like the way that I looked on camera. And that is why I started this channel, to help me get over those type of issues. So I get it. I can tell you that you can internalize things that people say to you. It's really hard. But this woman has fully morphed into Monica. I know you all see the picture I'm talking about. You morphed into Monica. Your whole Instagram is literally the new you. Now, Wendy Williams, who also said that she used to be a plus size woman, she went so far as to do, booger sugar. Let's just say she was putting stuff in the pipe and smoking it in order to lose weight. Her own admission. I just rewatched her Lifetime special. Her own admission. Now, again, I told you guys that Monique was the wild card in this situation. She had this to say. Before we get into this, Monique was always the champion for plus size women and body positivity. She had me back in the day saying skinny bees were evil and they must be destroyed. If you follow Monique's career, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But she said these things in these interviews that I had not heard her say, and it made me think, is there an issue?
Monique gonna let that man use her.
Right.
Lord, she got low self-esteem, no self-worth.
Yeah.
She just a fat pig, and ain't nobody gonna love her, Lord. Until
she continuously said that in interview after interview. Oh, she's just a fat pig. And I'm like, I never saw it that way. I know that Monique had a drastic weight loss years down the line after she was with Sydney, but I just never, I hadn't heard her refer to herself like that. And it really, my heart went out to her. I did not like it. These were interviews that she was doing while she was explaining her open marriage, which we will get into at the end. But all of these women have, to some degree, dealt with self-esteem issues. And then these men enter their lives. So let's start with Sydney. Now, of the three men that we're going to talk about, Sydney, let's actually start with Tasha's husband. Let's start there because he has a real IMDb. He's on LinkedIn. Rocky Bivens, CEO of Biv Global Management. Okay, guys, this is what he's known for. I had no idea. He was a security guard, and he was Mr. Kelly's security guard. That opens a whole nother can of worms. So what people have said was these men chose these women and they saw a mark. right? Because these women were already successful in their own right prior to meeting these women. So he was a security guard who went on to do more things for Mr. Kelly, and y'all know who I'm talking about. It has been alleged, let me put my banner up, that the security detail not only knew what Mr. Kelly was doing with all of those people, but they facilitated it. So it gives you kind of like a nasty feeling, just the thought. But something funny in his bio, Rocky is known for being the wife of famous American singer Latocha Scott. Not they called this man Latocha's wife. Sorry, let me be serious. That was extremely weird to me. Then let's move on to Kevin. Now, Kevin, I think, is probably one of the most disrespectful husbands on this list. He had this to say as it related to Serena, his mistress, as he gave her credit for the Wendy Williams show. And I mean, my whole team, continue Hunter, who held executive producer credits on the weekday broadcast. That includes my current lady now, because it takes a village. Yeah, I said it. Whoever don't like it, they just gonna not like it. So let's read between the lines. So Wendy met Kevin when he was a promoter and doing odd jobs, right? We all know that Wendy, had some substance issues. Kevin knew about those issues. So you chose this woman. You had no issue. He said that he didn't like it. Let me be honest. He said he did not like it. To me, I think that maybe there was a little bit of facilitating there in when just my opinion. I'm interested to know what those odd jobs were. Relay that back to substance abuse issues and those odd jobs. I'm sure you guys, what were Kevin's odd jobs, y'all? Just saying, y'all do the math on that. I did think this was funny. This is who she chose to be in the movie to portray Kevin, when in actuality, Kevin looked like this. I think that Tamar's ex-husband probably would have been a better cast, but okay, we'll give you that, Wendy. He had this to say in regards to what he did for the Wendy Williams show. And said he was very vital in decisions made on the guest and inception of who Wendy was. He made sure that the audience knew who she was and what she was about. He made sure that Wendy was on the radio and was the same way that she would get on TV. Wendy Williams was a self-made woman. A self-made woman, guys. She did not need Kelvin to promote for her or anything. She says that he was her muscle, but it was not necessary. He did not create Wendy. And moreover, Debmar Mercury reached out to Wendy because of what Wendy had already done on the radio. And Kelvin didn't even reach or respond back to them within weeks. Wendy had to get on him for doing that. He can't take credit for the Wendy Williams show, in my opinion. In my opinion. He says things like, we had a vision, and I didn't want anyone at the show messing up the vision. These women have all taken their men, and they already had a career, made them their manager. That's the common thread here. These men who had no prior experience, maybe Rocky did by that point, but he did come from security. So yes, are y'all seeing these threads? I told you guys this went very, very deep. Let's move on to the last guy we did. Let's move on to Sydney. Now, this is Sydney's IMDb. It's only involved 3 things involving Monique, and he's married to Monique with 2 children. That's the extent of the IMDb. I will say that there was a marked difference in Monique and her career after Sydney. And people have said, and I agree, he tried to reshape a career that was already on the fast track to success. And that is part of the reason why Monique is having all of these issues. I don't know that to be true. She did get the movie role Precious, but again, that was due to her own talent, not necessarily, in my opinion, anything due to Sydney. Are you guys seeing the thread? Now, let's get to the last thing. Open marriages, mistresses, embarrassing these women. Monique and Sydney way back in 2006 when they got married. So the most famous is probably going to be Kevin and his mistress / now fiance Serena. And Serena is just a true beauty, isn't she? It's all very public information. Kevin not only cheated on Wendy while she was pregnant and on bed rest, he cheated throughout the marriage. She continued to take him back, and people say that it had a lot to do with her self-esteem issues. By the time he got with Serena, he had bought her like $1 million home. They were rolling around in Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Bentleys, all off of Wendy's dime. The Tasha mistress is a little bit different. This woman alleged that she had a relationship with him, and then alleged that her phone had been hacked. It wasn't her. And then some people said that she came back and said that it was true. She was just intimidated. I have reached out for an interview. We'll see if that happens. I know Tasha K had said that the woman just collects pictures with celebrities. So I don't know. I will see about getting that interview. But again, it's another thread that connects them. I don't know if this one is true. I will definitely try to find out for you guys. And then lastly, Monique's was, again, a little bit interesting. I'll let you hear this. She went around everywhere about 6-7 years ago saying she had an open marriage. She has an open marriage. She has an open marriage. I'll tell you at the end why I don't necessarily think that she was being absolutely truthful.
4 hours? Is it, what's going on? What does it mean to be in an open relationship? And I know this was your idea, Sydney.
Well, yes, we are in an open relationship.
This was Monique on The Preachers, a short-lived show with a few pastors, including Jamal Bryant. And we all know how I feel about Jamal Bryant. Let's continue on.
Relationship 24/8. Okay. And by that, we mean that we're always open to conversation. We're open to the understandings.
That's a whole lot of answer just to say that you can sleep with other people in your marriage.
That man and woman, or as a couple, we should have for one another. Thank you.
I can't believe they clapped for that BS.
Automatically said, Sydney,
This
I
was
know,
his idea.
and I think that's when we first came out with it. Everybody said, "Oh my God,
Monique, here she goes again.
how could Monique let that man do that to her?"
Whose idea was it?
Well, because she's this big woman and he's this good-looking man, and because
She consistently says this, guys. It's a running theme. She's this big woman, or she's this fat pig, and he's this good-looking man.
she has this money, she's gonna let that man do whatever he want to do just to say she has a fine man.
So y'all talking about, because you talk about emotion and conversation, but that's not what y'all talking about. Sex.
Well,
now.
here's what makes it beautiful, John.
Okay.
Okay, shake your head one more time. Here.
Whose idea was it? Was it your idea?
She says it was her idea, but
it was my idea because 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I'm an entertainer, and this is my best friend ever. And what I did not.
And your daddy and your brother. And I want you guys to hear.
I think that's amazing. And a lot of people think that that's novel, and y'all church people are going to have a heart attack.
Of course, Jamal Bryant thinks that an open relationship is amazing. Did you guys clock that? Of course, Jamal Bryant thinks that an open relationship is amazing. Monique has now gone on to say that she has grown out of her open marriage. Well, if this was this beautiful thing that was all encompassing with your husband and lover and your daddy and your son and all those things that he is to you, how just 6 years later, this is no longer this beautiful thing? To me, that says she probably did think that having this open thing, as long as we're open and honest, would keep him. But in all honesty, that's not everlasting. Maybe if you were in those lifestyles. But my heart goes out to all three of these women. The alleged self-esteem issues, turning these relative nobodies into their managers, only for them to, at some point, harpoon their careers. Tasha's husband, it does feel like every time Xscape is onto something, here comes this solo career stuff. It hasn't panned out in all of these years. It would make most sense for her just to continue with Xscape, make that money, and, you know, always try to do things, but it feels like there's somebody in her ear and she is Beyonce and the girls, but she does not have the career outside of Xscape to justify that. With Monique, she's gone here, there, the Netflix, beefing with all these people. Her career has been derailed multiple times since she's been with this man. Again, why make somebody who does not have a career in that type of business your manager when you're operating at such a high level? Then lastly, and not least, Wendy Williams. Do I think that Kevin was in the room for certain things? Yes. Do I think that he has elevated himself into being on an equal level with Wendy? Absolutely. And then also elevated his mistress to being on par with some of that? Yes, I do believe that. And to me, that is absolutely crazy. This woman and all of these women were already media mavens. They were already in the business and successful. My heart goes out to all of them. As we all know, Wendy has basically deteriorated in front of our eyes. She's been saying she's going to do a podcast. We don't know where that podcast is at as of yet. I hope that she is able to one day be the Wendy that we know, or if not, have some type of peace in her life and maybe step away from media altogether until she is completely healed. I wish all of these women luck in whatever they are going to do moving forward. It is these threads, which I'm sure I will continue to connect, are ever present now. I can't unsee them. I think that I will go ahead and go live. We'll talk about Wine Dixon being fired, but we can also talk about this. It will be an open type of discussion with an open panel. If you're new to the channel, that just means I will drop the link and you can come up and give your thoughts on these situations. This one, I told you guys, this one went deep, and there were even more things that I just did not share. Just absolutely crazy. I wish all these women the best. I am still a huge Monique fan. I'm a huge Xscape fan, and I will forever be a Wendy Williams fan. I will see you guys later. Have a good one. Oh, like the video. I don't know if I'm doing the Lord's work, but I'm definitely working. Goodbye, y'all.